All right, taco fans, get ready, because today we are diving into Joshua Weissman's epic taco quest in Mexico City.
Oh yeah, 40 tacos in 24 hours. It's ambitious, to say the least.
Ambitious is an understatement, and what's really interesting is how he structures this whole journey around traditional meal times.
Right, like breakfast, lunch, dinner, even late night snacks. It's a smart way to approach it.
I love it. So he kicks things off with breakfast at Fonda Margarita.
Ah, a classic.
Right. This place has been around for over 60 years, and they really focus on what they call the holy trinity of a great taco: the tortilla, the filling, and the salsa.
That's the foundation right there. You can't have a truly great taco without each element being perfect on its own.
So he tries 3 breakfast tacos there:
That bean and egg.
a pork and green sauce, and a chicharron in red salsa.
Hmm.
Now, I've got to ask you, have you ever had chicharron in a breakfast taco?
I have, and it's really something else. It adds this incredible crunch and a depth of flavor that you just don't get from other fillings.
Weissman seems to agree. He gives it a 7.7 on his rating scale.
Where 10 is the greatest thing on earth.
Exactly. But he was bummed they didn't have barbacoa.
Oh, right, because it's usually only available on weekends.
Yeah. And I have to admit, that kind of got me hooked. I needed to know how that barbacoa would measure up.
Oh, I get it. Weissman considers barbacoa his all-time favorite taco.
Really?
Yeah, he even describes it as this total comfort food that takes him back to his childhood.
Oh, wow. So the anticipation is definitely building.
You can feel it throughout the whole episode.
And finally, he gets his barbacoa fix at this place run by Senora Hanana and her family.
Nice family-run businesses are really at the heart of so much of Mexico's food culture.
Absolutely. This spot has been serving up barbacoa for over 35 years. Talk about a legacy.
That's incredible.
And they don't just do one type of barbacoa taco either. They have a gordita.
Which is round, right?
Yep. Filled with chicharron and cheese.
Oh, man.
And there's the huarache.
That's the triangle one.
Yes,
Yeah.
filled with nopales, beans and cheese.
Mm.
And last but not least, the cadilla, a folded tortilla with cheese.
It's like there's a barbacoa taco for everyone.
Right. And what's interesting is Weissman is surprised by his favorite,
Which one?
the huarache. He actually loves the huarache, which he initially thought would be the simplest of the 3.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
He gives it an 8.5, praising its unexpected freshness and the way all the flavors just come together so perfectly.
It's a good reminder that sometimes the simplest things can be the most delicious.
So true. But all this taco eating catches up to him.
Yeah, 40 tacos is a lot of tacos.
He admits to feeling full way too early in the day.
Happens to the best of us. We get excited and overindulge.
He even has to take a break for coffee and a pistachio cream croissant.
Oh, come on, a croissant? Is that even allowed on a taco journey?
Right. I mean, I guess everyone needs a little break sometimes.
You pro.
But anyway, he heads over to Tacos Las Alexis for lunch. And get this,
What happened?
the chef insists on sharing some mezcal with him.
Oh, wow.
Now, that's hospitality.
I'm no stranger to mezcal myself, and I gotta imagine that really loosened him up for the next round of tacos. Oh, absolutely. Sharing food and drinks is such a big part of the culture in Mexico. It's about creating a connection and enhancing the enjoyment of the meal.
So fueled by mezcal, Weissman dives into the taco de birria. Have you ever had birria?
Of course, birria is amazing. It's this classic Jalisco specialty known for its rich, savory flavor. Traditionally, it's made with goat meat that's slow cooked until it's incredibly tender and then served in a consommé for dipping.
Sounds incredible.
It's truly a celebration of flavor.
And Weissman is all about those cheesy, crispy variations.
I mean, who isn't?
He really breaks down each component and explains why they work so well together.
He's got a real knack for that, doesn't he? He makes you appreciate the subtle nuances of a dish.
Totally. And then speaking of flavor combinations, next up is the cochinita pibil at Taqueria Cacan.
Ah, the cochinita pibil.
This Yucatan-style taco features slow-roasted pork belly, and I'm already drooling just thinking about it.
The slow roasting is key. The pork belly is marinated in this blend of citrus juices, achiote paste, and other spices, and then it's wrapped in banana leaves and slow roasted until it's incredibly tender and flavorful.
Man, that sounds good. And they offer 3 different variations. You've got the gac taco, the taco leon cacan, which is a meatier version with skin, and the cuy de pibil, which is marinated and finely shredded.
It's amazing how much variation you can find within a single type of taco.
I know, right? Each preparation offers a unique flavor profile and texture.
It's a whole spectrum of experiences.
And the winner of this round, the cuy de pibil Weissman, gives it a near-perfect score of 8.8, calling it one of the best tacos he's ever had.
Wow. So at this point, he's had some amazing tacos, but his quest isn't over yet.
Not even close. He still has dinner and late-night tacos to conquer. And remember that highly anticipated barbacoa taco is still waiting for him in the morning.
The suspense is killing me.
You'll have to tune into part 2 to find out what happens next. Welcome back, everybody. We're picking up with Joshua Weissman as he enters the dinner portion of his epic 24-hour taco tour in Mexico City.
You know, it's really interesting to consider the sheer endurance this challenge requires, not just physically, but, in terms of keeping your palate engaged after tasting so many tacos.
I imagine it's like a delicious marathon. So for his first dinner stop, Weissman hits up El Foquito,
Ah, El Laquita.
a legendary late-night spot famous for their al pastor.
A classic.
And get this, Anthony Bourdain himself was a fan.
Wow, that's high praise.
Right, so, it's got to be good.
For sure. El Laquito is known for its trompo-style al pastor, which means the meat is cooked on a vertical spit.
So the flavorful juices continuously baste the meat as it rotates.
Exactly. It results in incredibly tender and flavorful al pastor.
Oh, man, I'm getting hungry just thinking about it.
Mhm.
And after a day of, exploring more unique variations, Weissman seems relieved to find a classic preparation.
You can't go wrong with the classics. He's especially impressed by their perfectly cooked onions.
The onions. Oh, yeah. For true taco connoisseurs, the onions are just as important as the meat itself.
Really? I never thought about it that way.
They provide a contrasting sweetness and acidity that balances out the richness of the al pastor.
That makes sense. Next up, Weissman ventures into the world of fire taquerias at Los Parados.
Fire taquerias.
It's a spot specializing in tacos al carbon.
Okay, I'm familiar with that. Tacos al carbon just means cooked over charcoal, right?
You got it. And charcoal cooking imparts a distinct smoky flavor to the meat that's hard to beat.
It's a technique that's deeply rooted in Mexican culinary tradition. The high heat of the charcoal sears the meat quickly, which locks in those juices and creates a beautiful crust.
Weissman tries their costilla taco, which features beef rib and cheese.
Beef rib and cheese.
Oh, man.
And he describes it as incredibly rich and flavorful, like the perfect post-drinking indulgence.
Interesting. He even says that if you were drinking, this taco would probably score much higher.
Yeah, that's a really good point. The context in which you eat a taco can definitely influence how you perceive it.
Absolutely. Imagine enjoying that same taco after a night out with friends. The flavors would hit differently.
Totally. To round out the dinner portion of his journey, Weissman visits Taqueria El Khalifa,
Taqueria El Khalifa.
a simple but highly regarded spot that's been serving up tacos since 1965.
Wow, since 1965. That's impressive.
Talk about standing the test of time.
I know, right? It goes to show that consistency and quality are key.
When you have delicious food and a loyal customer base, you can withstand any trends or fads.
He keeps it simple, opting for their basic steak taco and praising its surprisingly lean and clean flavor profile.
Sometimes simplicity reigns supreme. When you're working with high-quality ingredients and skilled preparation, you don't need a lot of bells and whistles to create something delicious.
Speaking of steak tacos, are there any toppings that you find particularly interesting or unusual? While the classic combination of cilantro, onions, and salsa is always a winner, I've seen some places experiment with toppings like grilled pineapple pickled onions or even a drizzle of chipotle crema.
Wow, those sound delicious. I'll have to try those sometime.
They can add an unexpected burst of flavor and texture.
But back to Weissman. His night is far from over. He's still got a whole lineup of late-night tacos to try before he can finally rest.
And remember, that highly anticipated lamb barbacoa taco is still waiting for him in the morning.
Right, the suspense is building. So speaking of late-night eats, Weissman starts things off at Los Cucuyos,
Los Cucuyos.
another spot known for its simple, no-frills approach to tacos.
It's the kind of place that draws crowds, even in the wee hours of the morning.
He tries 2 tacos here,
Okay, what did he get?
cabeza,
Which is cheek, right?
yep, and lengua.
Yeah. Tongue.
Definitely not your average taco fillings.
He's definitely got an adventurous palate.
I'll say the cabeza emerges victorious, earning an 8.2 for its flavorful and tender meat. The lengua scores a respectable 7.4, but doesn't quite have the same depth of flavor.
It's fascinating how even subtle differences in texture and flavor can make one taco stand out over another.
I know. It's all about personal preference.
Exactly. And in a surprising twist, Weissman takes a detour from tacos for a moment and indulges in a churro.
A churro.
Even the most dedicated taco enthusiast needs a sweet treat now and then.
True. After that sweet interlude, he visits Taqueria Celine, known for its excellent al pastor, to try their gringa taco.
Now, the gringa is an interesting variation on the classic al pastor. It features cheese and a flour tortilla, which aren't traditional elements of a Mexican taco, but it's become a popular choice nonetheless.
Almost like a fusion taco.
Exactly. It's a testament to the adaptability and evolution of food culture. Dishes are constantly being reinterpreted and influenced by new ingredients and techniques.
Weissman seems to appreciate the fusion, giving the gringa an impressive 8.4.
Not bad, but the real question is, will anything top that cochinita people?
Right. We're all on the edge of our seats waiting for that final Barbacoa showdown.
But before we get there, we need to acknowledge the sheer stamina Weissman has displayed throughout this journey. He's been eating nonstop for 24 hours, fueled by espresso mezcal and a whole lot of passion.
It's truly inspiring. But all good things must come to an end, and the moment of truth is approaching. Will the lamb barbacoa live up to the hype?
We'll find out in part 3.
Welcome back for the final leg of Joshua Weissman's 24-hour taco marathon in Mexico City.
It's 7:30 in the morning, 24 hours since he started this epic journey.
And he's about to face his final challenge, the lamb barbacoa he's been craving all along.
The moment of truth.
He's looking a little tired, I have to say.
Right.
Hey, who wouldn't be after 39 tacos?
Right. But I think there's more to it than just physical exhaustion.
What do you mean?
Well, think about it. This entire experience has been about so much more than just, finding the best taco.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It's been a journey of exploration, a celebration of Mexican culinary traditions.
Exactly. It's a testament to his passion for food and his willingness to really dive deep into a culture.
So where does he end up for this grand finale?
He finds himself at a small, unassuming establishment.
Not one of those fancy, hyped-up places.
Nope. It seems to prioritize substance over style.
Kind of like the taco itself, right?
Exactly. Weissman describes the lamb barbacoa as being incredibly simple. Slow-cooked lamb agave leaves a handmade blue corn tortilla and just a few simple toppings.
It's all about the quality of the ingredients and the skill of the preparation.
The slow cooking allows the flavors to deepen and the meat to become incredibly tender.
Okay, enough talk. Let's get to the tasting. How does it taste?
Weissman takes a bite and he's instantly transported.
Transported. That's a pretty strong reaction.
He describes the meat as incredibly juicy and tender with a perfect balance of flavors.
Wow. And after 39 tacos, his palate is still sharp enough to pick up on those subtle nuances.
He's a true pro. What's amazing is that even after all those tacos, his enthusiasm hasn't wavered. He's still fully present in each bite.
That's what I love about him. His passion is contagious.
He raves about the melt-in-your-mouth texture of the tortilla and how the salsa adds a touch of acidity and brightness to cut through the richness of the lamb.
It sounds like a symphony of flavors. So what's the final score?
Drum roll, please. He awards the lamb barbacoa a 9.2,
9.2.
the highest-scoring taco of the entire journey.
Wow. A well-deserved victory, I'd say.
But, as we've been discussing, it's about so much more than just the score.
Right. It's about the journey, the discoveries, the cultural immersion, and the connections we make through food.
Exactly. So what about you, listener? What kind of taco adventure would you embark on?
That's a great question. Maybe it's time to explore your own city's taco scene. Seek out those hidden gems and discover your own personal best taco.
Don't be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone. Try something new, ask questions, and engage with the people who make the food.
Great advice. And if you want to witness Weissman's taco journey for yourself, check out his YouTube channel.
It's definitely worth a watch. You'll be craving tacos for days.
And who knows, maybe it'll inspire you to embark on your own taco adventure. Until next time, happy taco hunting.